GM. Today's lesson, we'll talk about change and being resistant to it. So I had a question about being resistant to change. I notice I have a hard time changing who I am, and I'm not sure why. I finish the tasks I give myself, and I finish my list of tasks. But changing myself completely feels like I'm losing something, and it's fear I feel. Any tips or advice would be great. So, a good question. This goes back a little bit to a daily lesson that I did a while ago, where I talked about the importance of pushing yourself beyond your limits. If you remember the lesson, it was about, in the gym this week, I want you to do 50% more. I want you to do more back testing. I want you to do more sales calls. It was a challenge to you to do more, to push significantly beyond what you think is possible. That's important because naturally we will give ourselves self-imposed barriers, and those self-imposed barriers will be completely made up. Right? You go to the gym and you just decide to do 10 reps. You don't know if you can lift 20 reps, but you decide 10. Someone told you, do 4 sets of 10, right? So the idea of pushing beyond is to show that you can. And this goes back, and it's the same as what the question is here about resistance to change. If you actually don't like something about you and you want to make it different, right? If you want to change it, if you want to be better. Again, this is about changing things that are negative. So if you think that you're lazy, or you think that you spend too much time procrastinating, or you think that you are not disciplined with your diet, or you think that you are whatever, okay? In a weird way, your body and your mind will still resist that because it wants to stay in homeostasis. Homeostasis is just the natural tendency for your body to want to find a level. That's why when you put weight on and you become heavier, it's hard to lose it. You have to do a lot of work, right? You have to do a lot of exercise, burn a lot of calories, and force yourself to restrict your calories and not eat. And it's slow, and it's slow, and it's slow to lose the weight. But if you stop your diet and you stop your training, you'll put the weight back on super easily. Your body wants to go back to wherever it's at that comfortable, natural, in air quotes, state. Now, it's not natural to be out of shape or overweight, but some people have done it for so long, right? If you've been overweight for 10 years, that is the natural state for your current body, which is a bad thing. So you have to force it to change. Beautiful thing about this is, with a couple of years of consistency, you can force yourself into being in perfect condition, and then it's much easier to keep it, right? Imagine instead of, being 10 pounds or 10 kilos overweight, and anytime you lose weight, it only is temporary and then it goes back on. Imagine the opposite. Imagine being strong and ripped with a six-pack, and then if you get out of shape, it's only 2 or 3 weeks, and you get a little bit out of shape, you get back in the gym, back in your diet, and boom, you're back into great shape again. It's the same thing. If you become the type of person you want to be, your body will want to stay there, and your mind, but you have to get there first. And getting there takes a lot of discipline and sacrifice, and it takes time. Your body's not going to get used to being strong and lean unless you become genuinely strong and lean, and you stay strong and lean for a long time. This is why diets fail. This is why these fad diets, these gym things, is 6 weeks to get abs. Yeah, in 6 weeks, you can lose a bunch of weight by starving yourself. And as soon as you stop starving yourself, all the weight goes back on. That's all that's going to happen. Try 2 years. Try spending 6 months to get down to the weight you want to be, and then staying there for a year and a half. 2 years total. Then look at how difficult it becomes to actually put weight back on. So again, like so many things in life, the reason that people fail with these kind of changes is that they want it to happen right away. They want the instant fix instead of the long, disciplined, sometimes tough path that leads to massive success. So when you're trying to become something different, which is what you're trying to do, you're trying to change. You are trying to become somebody different. You have to do it for a long time consistently until your body doesn't know that you're doing something different. So You're finishing tasks you do. You're finishing your list, but changing myself completely. First of all, it feels like you're losing something. You're not losing anything. If the changes you're making are positive, the only thing you're losing, if anything, are bad habits, negativity. So don't allow your brain to tell you that bullshit of, oh, well, I don't want to lose this. You know, you're clinging on to being a loser. You're clinging on to being fat. You're clinging on to being weak. You're clinging on to whatever it might be. It's not because it's better for you. You know it's better for you to be more disciplined, work harder, in better shape, stronger, faster, fitter, whatever it is. You know that that's the better way to be. Your brain wants to try and trick you into staying the same because it's easy. Your body is designed to try and do as little as possible. Conservation of energy. Your body, including your brain, is hardwired to do as little as possible because that is how you can survive the longest. The fewer calories you burn, the less energy you expend, the longer you can live, because your body doesn't know if it's ever going to eat again. So it's trying to conserve calories all the time. That's why it doesn't like when you do hard exercise. It doesn't like when you restrict those calories. It wants those calories. It doesn't like when you try to do things to change because it costs energy. For you to do that extra work, it costs extra energy. It's taking energy out of your brain, taking energy out of your body. It doesn't want to do it because it's exactly the thing that will create change. Your body does not want to change. You have to force it. The fact that you do something, and here's a little trick, or even just something to be aware of. As soon as you feel like you have that resistance, as soon as you feel like you want to maybe stop because you're pushing too much, or my body doesn't want to change, my brain doesn't want to change, that is exactly how you know that you're doing the right thing. Because the change you need to make is on the other side of that resistance. There's no other way to do it. This is one of those things in life. You have to fucking brute force it. You just have to do it. Just like going to the gym, you're not going to get stronger if you don't lift a heavier weight than last week. You are not going to get stronger. You can't lift the same weight every week and expect to have any gain in strength. That would be completely irrational. So you can't expect to be a different person if you do the same things all the time. Now, it's small because a lot of the changes you're talking about, being more disciplined, working harder, making more money, being a better husband or father or brother or son, whatever, these things are not like you can see it instantly, and sometimes you can't even see it week by week. It's not like in the gym where you're like, I lifted 60 kg this week, last week I lifted 50. Okay, you can see that. You have to know you're doing it though. And when you feel that resistance, know that that is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You are on the exact right path. It should feel tough, and you should want to quit. And your brain should want to bitch out. It should want to. You just have to be there to override it. And remember, you're in control, and continue anyway.